Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. Since many of you are stuck at home on lockdown, let me take you to Tsim Sha Tsui, TST, one of the main shopping districts of the Kowloon era in Hong Kong. And right off the station, we get into the I Square shopping mall where I like to stop by the main Seiko shop. I wanted to see if they had some of the new releases, but it's still a bit early apparently. I only could see finally in person the full lineup of the revamped SKX. And I gotta say, when you see them all together, it's not very appealing. It's a bit more of a fashion watch at this point, more than a real diver. So I moved on and I step outside. Right outside of the I Square, you can see the Chungking Mansion. You might have seen the movie Chungking Express. Interesting movie if you haven't seen it. It's interesting complex with people living there, people doing their business, from the shadiest to the more common. You can change your money. You can get a curry. Just be on the lookout. Anyway, a bit further you have the Rolex Ad with the usual gold stuff, and if you turn the corner, you have a couple of second-hand dealers. Those are really on high street, so the prices will be higher. The one I'm showing you right here tends to have higher prices than what you're gonna find shopping in Mongkok or Yomate, if you remember my last video. But I have some decent stuff. I like the root beer. Some of the Daytonas are priced decently, but you gotta be careful with those guys in this shop here, and really look at what you're getting, the condition, if it's been polished, and whatnot. Still many models there, and yeah, the root beer might be an interesting buy, or the 30 dial as well in the two-tone. Right next to this shop, you have another one which tends to have only brand new stocks. So this is the brand new Yachtmaster. They have the Sky Dweller, always Yachtmaster 2s, but those you can find at the AD as well. You're going to get a discount here. They have all the GMTs, very hot models, the two-tone root beer, the full rose gold, which you can also find at the shop. Not the two-tone, but the full rose gold version. And of course they have all the Daytonas, Sea Dwellers and everything. You won't get the best price here, but if you're wondering how come they have all those watches there, well, you just need to turn around and you'll have your answer. Let me show you right here. So these are the second-hand dealer, and yeah, across the street, this is where they're coming from the authorized dealer. So that authorized dealer in particular carries other luxury brands, not easy to move, and so they do what they can with what they have, and they just sell in bulk the hot steel sports and the gold and the two-tone stuff to the guy across the street. And they keep only just a few models like this Daytona and of course the Yachtmaster 2s. Now let me take you to a Champagne Court. It's a bit further. On the way I noticed that a few shops, second-hand dealers, grey market dealers have closed. So maybe the situation is getting really tough for these guys after the riots, after the COVID-19. Not a real lockdown here. The shop stayed open, but the foot traffic is gone for those dealers. Anyway, Champagne Court. It's a bit of a rundown little gallery, but there's a few shops. A couple of them are really nice. This one has millions of watches, millions of dollars on display. It's not very appealing the way they're showing it, because it's all put a bit there without rhyme or reason, but you can find great stuff. If you're a big fan of complications and don't care too much about the brand status at the moment. I mean, some of these watches were probably very hot when they came out 10, 15 years ago, the Gérard Perregaux, some of the Gégor Lecoultre models. And so if you're there after the complication, well, you're going to pay half retail, like for this Breguet Classique. I believe they have a few of these. Very nice watch. Who knows in 10, 20 years where the valuation for those watches will be. It's a nice Audemars Piguet, Quai de Lille, and compressor sports watch there from Jaeger-LeCoultre. And they have it all there. Also tourbillon watches in the $10,000 range. This travel time longer as well. Really, you can find it all, but you're gonna have to search and be a bit courageous walking in. It's an alpha male environment, if you know what I mean. I remember going in to try the Amvox 2 that you just saw there, but their prices tend to be on the higher end, so you're gonna have to haggle. They're not really completely dropping the prices to like 30% of retail, you know, even on the stuff that doesn't sell. They'd rather, obviously, they have the funds to keep them there to find the right buyer. And as you can see, there's just a lot of different designs, different complications. It's all out there waiting for mainly the wealthy and a bit fancy mainland Chinese buyer to get picked up. So I've tried to focus on the stuff that I could see that was a bit interesting. Like here on the left you have a glass shooter, and on the right two Breguet. Things that you know, I think all of us would like to experience for a while, but wouldn't really want to put a big budget behind. So I'm just showing you all the pictures, all the footage as I took it, just as if you were walking in TST during your lunch hour. You could spend days there and look for all the other shops in the other streets. Champagne Court is one place where you can find many of them. And we're going to get to the Rolex stuff. There's some crazy diamond stuff. Here's a nice GP Laureato skeleton. And you can see usually they show the retail price and then their price. Some stuff like the Tudor GMT, the Pelagos, is overpriced there. You could easily find it online, for example, from the shops in Nakano in Japan, which sell online as well, like Betty and Jack or something, Jack and Rode, I think. Here's a skeleton watch from Maurice Lacroix. You might be into that. Some APs that nobody really remembers. A nice perpetual calendar skeleton, 8 days power reserve, I think, from Jaeger-LeCoultre there. Still very expensive. As a reminder, the Hong Kong dollar, $1 is 7.75 Hong Kong dollar. And so €1 will be about 8.2. So divide by 8, and you have an idea, obviously, of the prices here on display. It's fairly similar to what you could find in the rest of the world. In Europe, I find prices pretty high. In general, you could probably haggle a better deal, like on this longer chronograph date with the power reserve. Look at this skeleton, literally skeleton on the face of the watch. They have a lot of Hublot, Frank Mueller, things like that. We're gonna get to some heavy hitters. Here we are, the Richard Mille. There you go. If you need something to play golf or play tennis with, this shop here in Champagne Court has you covered if you have the budget for it. You can have it blinged out as well. So some of the bling we're gonna see is factory. Some of it, I think, is aftermarket. It shows in the price. I'm not a specialist, but yeah, some of this stuff clearly designed for rappers seems to have been done aftermarket. The factory stuff would be more expensive. Here's the Cartier Santos skeletonized as well. I guess the pictures speak for themselves. I don't need to comment. More Breguet there. Different metals, different prices. One has a tourbillon here, so really a different kind of budget from the one we saw earlier on. Let's see what else was nice. You have, of course, all the Zenith, Moser as well, even Mont Blanc. It's bizarre to see them all like this. This shop could really use a bit of a female touch. I like this small skeletonized AP classic watch. It's very small, I think, probably 34, maybe 32 millimeters. Decent price, but it's not really all that trendy. Who knows which of these watches will be worth more or a lot less in the future. I think we're getting into a more Rolex now. It's the stuff that moves. Blinged out, date. The Tudor stuff is overpriced. Just don't buy it there. Let's see what else. All right, Batman, Cellini. Got some bronze Tudor. This Daytona is a mixed mash of different things with the Paul Newman dial, the ceramic bezel. Not quite sure where this came from. You might know, and let me know in the comments if you know who customizes those in this particular fashion. Some new stuff, some old stuff next to each other. The Sky Dwellers. More fancy dials, and here's the blinged out stuff. The rainbow. Is anyone catching your fancy yet? I know it's a lot to take in, you might want to pause and have a look at the prices. I think there's no miracle on the prices on any of these. Yeah, Liberace would be really happy to see this video. This is the nicer one, I think, the two-tone root beer. And I like the panda over there, the two-tone. I'm considering it. It's my speed, maybe not to everyone's taste. This one is yeah, very pricey. And yeah, here is the Tiger King watch right next to the meteorite dial GMT Pepsi. You're not going to see those together very often, so I took a couple of extra pictures of them. Maybe when Joe Exotic gets out of jail, he'll be able to afford this if he gets any copyright from the very popular documentary. And here's another gaggle of crazy looking Rolex with a Hulk and a Batman in the middle. It's a bit much to take in, I know, but that's just how it gets presented to you. Now, of course, they also have Patek. Here you have all the complications that you could possibly want. Prices look again on the higher end here. Some nice rose gold, the 6000 G. Oh, very nice here, 3940. Probably the nicest one you can buy. I'd love to add that to my collection. Some travel time there. I just noticed one I didn't see yesterday actually in person. With a black dial and a white sub-dial travel time. I might go back to check that out. And of course, lots of Hublot, lots of AP, mostly the offshores actually. Royal Oak offshores there, all the limited editions. I'm not a specialist, I can't really comment. I think one is called a Safari. Frank Mille, I mean, there's just so many. I don't know if they ever hope to sell this stuff. And then here, thousands of Panerais. Again, I wasn't going to spend, 50 minutes on this display. It's just too much. I can just assume that they have every Panerai ever made. Now, the next shop here is much nicer. They have brand new stock, beautiful blue dial Aquanaut over there. They have the rose gold 5712. And all is brand new condition apparently, straight from the authorized dealer. Same for the Rolex for many of these. Price is actually a bit more in touch with reality of the market, and I guess you could get another 5-10% of the prices in the shop here. They have a bit of everything, all the Daytonas, the very nice Yachtmaster, rose gold. Yeah, this one stopped me in my tracks with a blue dial. Wow, that is some stunning piece. Yeah, funny how the Aquanaut became so popular these days. Again, who knows? I was chatting with a friend about the Datejust in the actually with one of the viewers in the comments yesterday, and yeah, it used to be the it watch, and who knows? Because of the lockdown in Switzerland, we see less and less watches here in the display cases, and even the Datejust is getting a bit extinct at the moment. What stops me from getting a Datejust, maybe a two-tone, is that if you put that much money in it, is the bigger part of a Sky Dweller you've just spent, or maybe a Daytona, and it's more money than a Pepsi GMT. It might be what stops me people from getting the Datejust, which in the end is a more suitable watch for most of us. A watch you can wear all the time, even on the weekend, in the rain, even at the beach. I really like the Datejust, but the prices have increased along with the sports models, and now it's just prohibitive. More than 13 grand for a two-tone Datejust. I don't think so. And I quite like to have my name on the warranty card and get a fresh one. Anyway, travel time here. Aquanaut, very, very hip watch. I have no doubt many of these will be sold once mainland travelers come back to Hong Kong. Situation is great right now. Infections have been at zero in Hong Kong for the past 18 days, but things are restarting everywhere. The companies, the schools will reopen soon, slowly but surely. This shop here, a bit in the same gallery, Champagne Court, has much better prices, I've noticed, and they have some interesting stocks, carefully curated apparently, and really under market value quite often, or right on it. Now this one with the salmon dial is a rare Patek Philippe, one of the advanced research ones that came out before they put out the production model. Then they have a 6006G as well. Very, very cool watch, priced fairly here. If the condition is really good, full set, I think it's a good price. It's a very cool watch. If you have another Patek or two, I think it would be a nice one to add. But yeah, this one here, the price is justified by how rare it is, only 300 pieces. You can find a couple of different dials. I've seen a rose gold version as well, just very expensive, and you basically get a 5146. Not even as good a spec as some of the 5146, but rarity dictates the price there. More recent Rolex. Actually, you don't see many Datejusts in those shops. It's mostly the sports models. Maybe a sign of things to come. Anyway, after that, probably many of you also like rock and roll like me. I love classic rock. I play guitar, and I stopped by the shop called Tom Lee, big shop here, and they carry Fender and Marshall amps. And these are the custom shop versions of the recreation of the Jimmy Page original Telecaster. He had it refinished a couple of times. He painted it himself, put some mirrors. So you get the two versions here. I think you can buy them as a set. They also have the Stevie Ray Vaughan classic Stratocaster. So it's redone by the custom shop to the same spec. Well, it's never the same wood, is it? And here a couple of more Strats, the Clapton and the Hendrix. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it allowed you to escape a bit from the COVID-19 lockdown, being at home with the kids, with the wife, with your partner. And I'll be speaking to you soon. Bye-bye.